There is a moment in American coin history when metal was not just currency, but a living portrait of a nation searching for its identity. And if you hold the 1920 Buffalo nickel, you are holding more than a coin. You are holding a story carved out of the rugged American frontier, shaped by an artist who wanted to capture the true spirit of a people, and minted during a time when the United States was rising from the impact of war into a new era of hope, ambition, and cultural pride, and today we dive deep into that incredible journey. Because the 1920 Buffalo nickel is not just rare metal. It is a gateway into a world where every strike, every line, every image carries the heartbeat of a changing nation. The story of the 1920 Buffalo nickel begins in a United States that was transforming rapidly as the 20th century gained momentum, a country shifting from rural landscapes to industrial cities, a society pushing forward with new inventions, bold ideas, and expanding culture, yet still holding tightly to the traditions and memories of the land and the people who shaped its past. And in the middle of this, transformation. The U.S. Mint sought a new design for the 5-cent piece, a design that would express the strength, the courage, and the heritage of America. And for this bold mission, the Mint turned to the talented sculptor James Earl Fraser, whose childhood experiences on the Western frontier and his deep respect for Native American culture guided every stroke of his artistic vision. Fraser believed that the true identity of America lived in the faces of the native people and in the rugged strength of the great American bison. And so he created a coin unlike any other before it, a coin that carried a proud Native American portrait on one side and the mighty buffalo on the other, presenting a powerful statement of heritage, resilience, and natural beauty. And when the Buffalo nickel first entered circulation in 1913, it caught the attention of the nation, not just as currency, but as a miniature piece of sculpture, a work of art that people admired, respected, and collected. And by the time the year 1920 arrived, the coin had already become an icon of American culture. The year 1920 was a moment of dramatic change for the United States. The aftermath of World War I was still shaping politics, economics, and daily life, and the country was stepping into a decade of prosperity, innovation, and cultural expansion, often described as the Roaring Twenties. And during this time, the Buffalo nickel continued to flow through the hands of millions, connecting everyday commerce with the deep historical roots of the country. And the 1920 issue played a special role in the series because it marked a steady transition in minting quality, population growth, and artistic wear, patterns that today help collectors identify valuable pieces and rare variants. Minted primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1920 Buffalo nickel reflects a fascinating blend of older minting techniques and evolving technology, leading to a variety of strike qualities across surviving examples. Some coins show crisp, strong details of the Native American profile, with visible braids, feathers, and facial texture, while others display softer, weaker strikes, especially on the high points caused by rapid production and metal flow challenges that became common throughout the series. And on the reverse, the Great Buffalo often shows noticeable wear on the shoulder hump and legs, which is one of the first areas to lose detail due to the natural high points of Fraser's sculpted design. The significance of the 1920 Buffalo nickel in coin history also stretches beyond its artistic beauty and into the cultural environment of the era, as Americans traveled, expanded, and built new communities. The presence of this powerful design in everyday trade served as a reminder of the land's early history and the people who walked it long before the modern nation was formed, and every coin carried that message in silence, passing through countless hands across the states, telling its story without words. Collectors today see the 1920 Buffalo nickel as a treasure because it represents a turning point in craftsmanship, American culture, and numismatic history. And while millions were minted, only a fraction survive in high grade due to the heavy wear the design naturally experienced in circulation, making well-preserved examples especially valuable and deeply admired. And beyond its financial worth, the coin carries a sense of authenticity and national pride, making it a centerpiece in many collections and a permanent symbol of the American spirit. From its artistic birth under James Earl Fraser, to its journey through the pockets of early 20th century Americans, to its place today in the hands of historians, collectors, and storytellers, the 1920 Buffalo nickel remains one of the most captivating coins the United States has ever produced. And as we explore its details, its history, its symbolism, and its lasting impact, you will discover why this small piece of metal holds a story powerful enough to fill an entire 2-hour journey into the heart of America. 1920. Buffalo Nickel. We step into a world where every detail of its design carries a story, from the artistic lines carved into the metal to the powerful meaning behind every symbol. And when we look closely at the obverse, the front side of the coin, we see a portrait that is far more than a simple engraving. It is a tribute to the Native American people whose presence shaped the earliest chapters of the continent. And James Earl Fraser did not base this image on one singular person, but on a blend of features inspired by 3 distinguished Native American leaders whose identities have been discussed for decades, including Iron-tailed Two Moons and possibly John Big Tree. And this merging of features created a face that represented the strength, the pride, and the heritage of Native America. Rather than portraying only one individual, it conveyed the spirit of an entire culture. This powerful portrait became one of the most iconic faces in American numismatics. And when you look into the eyes of the figure, you see a quiet intensity, a story of history, survival, and honor captured in the texture of the cheekbones, the curve of the jaw, and the deep lines that reveal character and resilience. And during the year 1920, as the nation was stepping into a modern age, this traditional portrait created a bridge between the past and the present, reminding Americans of the people who first inhabited the land and shaped its early legacy while the country was moving toward skyscrapers, radios, automobiles, and broader national ambitions. Turning to the reverse of the coin, we find the striking image of the great American buffalo, also known as the bison, an animal that for centuries represented power, freedom, and the vast beauty of the great. Plains and Fraser based this figure on a living bison believed by many to be Black Diamond, a real buffalo from the Central Park Zoo in New York. And although historians debate the exact animal, the inspiration is clear. The buffalo stands firm, grounded, strong, solid, and noble, symbolizing the endurance and spirit of the American frontier. And in the 1920 issue, this bison often shows varying levels of strike sharpness, with details in the fur legs and hump that reveal how the minting technology of the time sometimes struggled to bring full depth to such an intricate design.